call George Adam to be followed by Sarah Boyack.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Can I say I welcome the First Minister's first legislative programme, and although we live in challenging times, it shows vision and provides hope for the future. Although listening, like Kevin Stewart already said, although listening to some of the opposition members, that seems to be part of a parallel universe, and this Scottish Government has achieved so much since its first election in 2007. But I think one of the major issues, and one of the issues that the First Minister brought up, was how we support our families across Scotland. And I welcome the First Minister's commitment on childcare, because in 2 weeks' time I will be a grandfather, and I may have a declaration to make here on the fact that my daughter Jessica and John may be looking for that type of support in future years as both of them go on to work. And access to work, as Sandra White quite rightly said, is the whole reason for that policy there, because it does make economic difference. And the First Minister is saying it's one of the best investments we can make, ensuring that these families do get that opportunity. And also, one of the things I agree with is the fact that the legislative programme is actually on the three key principles founded on, of priorities, participation and prosperity. In fairness, actually, the priorities wasn't one of the commitments there. But I would say that's really the important part of it as well, because First Minister has already announced that in the SNP 2016 manifesto will set out the ambitious plan to almost double childcare provision. And if we do get another term, as already has been mentioned, then there would be more hours for our children and families there as well. The Scottish Government has expanded and funded hours by 45% since 2007, and there's still more work to be done. But that's worth up to £707 per child per year, and that's quite a big investment as well. But, as we look at this debate, as with everything else, further devolution of tax and benefits will enable us to unlock the resources required to support the transformational change in provision. Access to tax revenues and benefits savings arising from increased labour market participation will contribute to the cost of achieving this type of transformational change. But with more powers comes more responsibility, and as every debate seems to be about what happens next. And what happens next is we have the challenge before the Smith Commission, because not at the moment, thanks. Promises were made and expectations from our citizens are high. Let us not forget that it was Gordon Brown who said we're going to be, within a year or two, as close to a federal state as can be. Now, Gordon Brown underwrote the infamous vow. He became the credible voice, the hero of the No campaign, if you wish. Within a year or two, he said. Now, where is this credible voice? Where is the credible voice gone at a time where Scotland needs people to actually put their arguments forward? He's off. He's off on the after-dinner speaking circuit. And his other cronies, Westminster cronies, Danny Alexander, has called the proposals for effective Home Rule and unprecedented new powers that put us irreversibly on towards a federal UK. So with all that in mind, is it not the case that we give this Parliament the powers that the people of Scotland want? We can talk about making the type of transformational change that we all want with these powers. But in education already, the Scottish Government has a strong commitment to driving improvement and ensuring equity and attainment throughout Scotland. We only have to look at, already mentioned by the First Minister, Raising Attainment for All programme, which was launched already in June 2014. It is a programme that is trying to work in our commitments to ensure, in our communities, to ensure that a child isn't a victim of the postcode. They get the opportunity to be able to be part of education and be all they can be in their future, and that is what the First Minister is trying to do here. But all that's in stark contrast with the situation we find from the Westminster elite, because they currently believe they're going back to business as per usual. Yes, no problem.
Liz Smith.
I thank the member for taking an intervention. Could he explain what it is that prevents the SNP from changing the birthday discrimination when it comes to nursery provision? That is nothing whatsoever to do with Westminster policy.
George Adam.
Can I say we're talking about transformational change in this debate here. We're talking about being able to give young people the opportunity to move forward. So I'm saying for us, everything connected, we need to have the powers and the levers within this Parliament that were promised. That were promised by all the no parties. Presiding Officer, all of this has been achieved during very challenging times, and Westminster's continually promising us yet more austerity. As I said earlier, this programme builds on the Scottish Government's previous work, but we need to ensure that Westminster delivers on their promises that they made to the people of Scotland. We need to ensure that we have the powers that make the transformational change that my constituents, all of our constituents, want. Much good work has already happened, but we must continue to be ambitious and, as the First Minister says, be bolder in our ideas. Presiding Officer, I welcome this programme for government and look forward to working towards the type of country we all want.
Thank you very much.